No, we talked about, the black hat and white hat, but what you just described right now, it sounds like it's a gray hat of some sort, isn't it?
Well, it depends. There's an amazing case that actually just got settled within the last 2 days in the city. It was somewhere in Iowa. I want to say it was Dallas, Iowa. Back in 2023, the judicial system had hired a company called Coalfire, which does the same type of work that I do. And they were testing the security of the court building. And they went in, the alarms triggered, and they were actually hired by the Department of Justice there to test the physical security. The police showed up, they arrested them, even though they had the paperwork that said, hey, we're getting paid to do this. We were asked to do this. The prosecutor continued with prosecution up to the point of actually making it to court, where the judge threw it out because this was something that was actually asked to be done. So due to the fact that we do have people, like to your point, who don't understand that authorized security practices do not equal criminality, the city actually wound up having to pay these guys over $600,000 for false arrest. And there is a difference between a criminal act and security prevention, but we need to have more people who are aware of what my job is and others like me, because we're not the bad guys. And without us, we are really leaving companies, corporations, and local municipalities and even governments very, very vulnerable.
Now, I did host on the podcast, Len, a gentleman from, I think it was in San Diego. That's like a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Schwartau. His last name is Schwartau. I'm not sure.
Win Schwartau, one of my dear friends. Actually, very, very good. Actually, he's one of my best friends, and I was talking to him last night.
Look, I'm in a small circle now. What do I know?
I'm assuming you were talking about the art and science of meta war.
That's right. And, we talked a lot about cognitive hacking. It's his favorite topic. And he describes it to me as the next evolution. Like, hacking system is one thing, but hacking the human brain and make it think something that wasn't intended to think, or some people don't want it to think. It's quite dangerous the way he was trying to explain it to me. And he tells me, like, and I've been a corporate employee all my life. I left my corporate job a few months ago, but the biggest problem corporate America or corporate North America is facing right now is we throw a lot of assets, a lot of hardware on protection. We spend a lot of money on, get the latest firewall, get the latest cameras, security equipment, etc. The biggest vulnerability is the human that goes in and out of these systems. And that's what he was trying to explain to me.
There was a gentleman who, it was actually the very first world famous hacker. It was a gentleman by the name of Kevin Mitnick. And he was actually
Kevin Mitnick, the famous
Kevin Mitnick. He has a quote that I think is just as relevant today as it was when he said it first back in the 80s and 90s. And that is, the weakest link in any security chain will always be the human element. Mm-hmm. I can put as many, let's just take a look. You say that you've spent your career in corporate America. If I had to give you $1 for every time you had to go through like a phishing campaign training, how much money would I be giving you?
A lot, because I've been taking phishing training for all my life.
But yet we still see people falling victim to phishing scams. So at the end of the day, I can put as many protections as I want in front of people, but if they still click on the link, there's nothing that my protections are going to do for the most part. So we do have to start looking at the human being as the ultimate target, and not just for cybersecurity.